Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Eita. It's such a delight to be here once again. It's a new week, it's a new day, and of course, it's a new topic that we'll be having today on the Good Morning Education Show. We're so excited to always host you, to always talk about issues that bother around the world of education, within and around the world of education. And we bring together lovely minds, bright minds, great minds, experts in their own right to share their views, their comments, their knowledge, and their concerns on the subject matter. And we always love it when we have people joining us from across the world. Wherever you're joining us from, whether it's Lagos, whether it's in Nigeria, beyond Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, outside Africa, please do let us know. Share your comments. Do let us know, and we will be excited and delighted, to come your way to share your views. And if you do ask questions or you have questions, we will entertain those questions. We are on the Good Morning Education Show. We're streaming from Lagos, Nigeria, to West Africa, to the entire world. And today is going to be a great day. Say to yourself, today is going to be a great day. And as you say that, of course, you know that we always have what we call the bell of blessing. And so I'm going to ring the bell of blessing to everyone who joins us, who's connecting with us, who's saying good morning on one way or the other. And of course, our guests and analysts are here, plus the one in Lagos and the ones who ran away and they flew away without permission. They're here as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing up Titi. And next in line, I'm bringing up Ugochi. Ugochi, good morning. How are you, everyone?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. It's a bright and wonderful February morning. This is Titi saying hello, hello, hello.
Thank God Titi is here and she survived the Harmattan. And of course, someone who ran away is here as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the safety chick.
Good morning, Mr. Ritibi. Good morning, Mrs. Adeusi. Good morning, everybody. Hope we're doing well this morning. How was the weekend?
All's fine. Good morning, Gideon. Good morning,
Ritibi, this your
Gideon.
laughter is suspicious. It's too early on a Monday morning.
Oh, at least I'm laughing from Lagos. Okay, so Gideon is asking a question. Shouldn't change start with great school leaders? Great school leaders will create a great school culture, and culture of great teachers and great students. School culture is most important. Gideon, hold on, just be calm, okay? This is the Good Morning Education Show. Today we'll be having a fantastic topic. And of course, Gideon preempted us already. And I think we need to bring that on board this week. His question is quite valid. But today we'll be speaking on change starts with great teachers. Change starts with great teachers. And I'm sure our experts and analysts are revving to go, on the conversation of the day. And it would not be out of place for us to treat the news segment first, and then we come back to the conversation of the day. So we're going to have news first, and then we're going to have the conversation of the day. So welcome everyone. Please do let us know where you're streaming from, connecting from. We'd like to know where you're connecting from on the Good Morning Education Show. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, our topic is change starts with great teachers. So we have a news review. And that's Edo Varsity gets nod to run postgraduate programs. Edo Varsity gets nod to run postgraduate programs. Does anyone have anything to say about that?
I
No,
think it's a good one.
I think the news that when I was looking through the headlines, and the news that caught my eye was more of mixed reactions over the creation of new universities by Delta State government.
We actually have that. And of course, we have the new college or on the speaking still on the Edo State, will enhance teachers' knowledge in technology. That's another.
Honestly, yeah, I felt that was very commendable. This is the fact that technology is being put at the forefront and considered important. I think is a good one. Like I think our major problem in Nigeria is really how will I say it? Whether this thing is sustainable. One government comes start is passionate about it, whether that passion can be handed over to successive government. But I think it's important that someone realizes that if anything we learned from last year is that we need to equip teachers with technology, not as not them being catch up, but them being at the forefront of being the 21st century teacher that encourages the children to not just use technology, but to create and produce with technology. So I think it's laudable and well done to the governor. And let's continue to push and realize that technology is so important. Teachers need to, they know, Yoruba will say they need to know how to share in it. They need to know how to really play in it so that they can also transfer that love and passion onto the kids.
So there goes the news. Mixed reactions over creation of new universities by Delta State government.
I was reading the details and it was interesting. One of the reasons why they have is that they say they already currently have 7 universities um, in the state. So I'm assuming that that's all inclusive, whether it's polytechnic or all that. So they have 7. So why generally in Nigeria we have an undercapacity when it comes to tertiary level education. So the more universities we have, it's actually a good one because of the undercapacity. But the main reason for the mixed reaction is then a key point: funding. So they're saying beyond this, while it's a fantastic idea, but can the state fund the universities going forward so that when this new the government goes, can the succeeding governors fund it? I think that's really the core of the matter. So, in as much as we build extra capacity, it's important that this capacity as independent. They need to be self-funding. They need to depend on government only for a tiny bit of their revenue, and the other bit of their revenue is the fact that they raise the funds themselves. That's the only thing that will ensure that truly, truly, the capacity we build will be a permanent thing, and the universities will not fall into ruin.
That's very true. Thank you for that. And I think we also need to look at the angle of sometimes everybody's trying to do legacy projects, right? And in the bid of trying to do legacy projects, you find out that people get swarmed up in trying to do stuff. So it's easier to start out a physical structure and a groundbreaking event, but
Yeah.
then the operational dilemma might not become the challenge. Of course, it's possible that people have cut some deals on how to fund it, but the fear is that there might be neglect to the previous structures on ground. So those are the things that normally come into the mix, right? Thank you all for joining. Florence, Jeremy, thank you for joining this morning. Thank you very much. Show me Omolara Ebu Oluwa. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the Good Man Education Show. I think hello, blessing to those who are just joining us for the first time. Yes, first time. And of course, good morning to Finn. We have Finn in the studios. Good morning, Finn.
Uh Looking
You're
bright and
looking bright and sweet.
Good
Good
morning,
Yeah.
Fee.
morning.
Welcome.
Safety
she
K, good
obviously
morning.
had a fantastic restful weekend. um
Yes, I did.
yes, it
Thank
shows
you.
on your face.
I hope you did
um
so. Thank you.
Rotimi,
And
there's
then
one more news. Okay, I don't know if you had finished the news.
which one? Is it the Unilag one?
No, no, no. This
Safety
strikes,
chick.
the one that says strikes and killing of tertiary education by installment. Um, I thought that one was the what is the thought of a lot of parents if your child goes to what is a non-private university. So this is important. Last year there was COVID, so that had an impact. And I know Safety can talk about it because her siblings are in this position. Um, so last year was COVID, so which is a general one. But even before then, there was the ASU strike, uh, which I don't know whether they are still continuing. Safety chick, can you help us? Because I think honestly, when I think about university in Nigeria and the constant strikes, it's like one should save up and make sure you can afford to send your children to private university so that a 4-year course will not become a 6-year course. And then it's not even so much how long the child spends, it's also the fact that in the end a lot of things will end up being rushed, because when you know that you're always doing catch up because you've lost some times due to strike or one thing or the other. Yeah.
Ugochi, Ugochi, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so
Can
I
you hear me,
think Titi
sir?
was yes, Titi was asking for your opinion.
Okay, on what exactly?
Titi, she was talking about Titi was talking about the what do you call it now?
The
She was talking
headlines.
about, yeah, the headline and how what's the reaction if I just like looking at parents who will probably be thinking about their children who would have enrolled in a particular course for a timeline and maybe a 4-year course, and then the reality is that the 4-year course is not 4 years because of certain realities and strike and all the likes. What do you think?
Okay, so nobody wants that. Everybody expects that their child goes to school for 4 years and it is 4 years. 4 years turning to 5 years or 6 years is really discouraging because, many times when we're entering into school, we have a plan at age this, I'll be done. At this other age, I would have done NYSC, then I would start work and all those kind of things. But with all those things, Catherine, what is now important is for parents and also people who are sort of influencers, everybody actually being good role models and putting out the right information, teaching the young people around us to ensure that no matter what happens at any point in time, education is dynamic, education is fluid. Personally, I have a document on my Google Docs named self-education notes. So what I do is when I discover a course I'm supposed to do that is pushing me towards where I want to be, I go by myself and I take it either on EDX or Udemy, and then I take notes. So now, if myself that I'm a worker, I'm doing that, so I expect that that is the kind of thing we should be transferring to our younger ones in school, so that even if those breaks happen in the system because of maybe strikes or one reason or the other, they are still helping themselves. Because
Hmm.
again, we must now begin to train our younger ones and young people that anything can happen. If nothing else, last year showed the whole world that anything can happen. But when things like that happen in the environment, does that mean that we are thrown off balance and we cannot act? No. That is a time for us to be fluid and dynamic. That's a time for us to be agile and say, okay, even though this has
All right.
happened, this is out of my control. What are the things I can begin to do to ensure that I don't totally lose out? So if we're able to incorporate that in our young ones and students, no matter what is happening, they are still learning, gaining skills, interning, volunteering, doing self-education and all those kind of stuff. So whether there is strike or not, they don't really lose out because maybe they were reading books or learning a skill or whatever. But basically, they are just making use of their brains at that point in time.
Yeah, but safety chick, the angle that the author of this article was coming from, he also brought a very interesting angle, and he said, you know what, someone will go to university thinking that they will graduate by 29, and be able to do NYC, and then what will happen is that due to strike, you end up graduating after 30, and then not be able to do NYC. Or another impact is the fact that if you want to go into the Nigerian police, army, navy, air force, it's required that you must not be over 27. So let's say when I plan to do, based on my calculations, I was meant to be 25. But after 2 years of strike, I end up being 28. And then look at it. Also, when you think of the typical bank jobs, they are telling you that they want you graduate not
Minimum age is
under that
27.
minimum 26, 27. So that's also the other part. So there's the development part which you've addressed, but there's also the part of the age challenge whereby you then
Yes.
come out older. I know what how old I was when I entered university, and what age I came out, plus strike and everything at that time, and it wasn't even as bad as I think it is now. So that is also one of the major concerns, that by the time they come out, there are all these issues, and then people have to start doing what are you doing? Just falsify your age kind of thing. So it's also that impact in terms of
Yeah.
your eligibility for some job roles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really valid concern. In all honesty, it's a very valid concern. But the truth again is, if something is out of your hands and there's really nothing you can do, what are you going to do? You've got to be agile, you've got to be flexible. Okay, so I've missed this age range. When we're speaking about age range, I remember that a family member also had that challenge with NDA. Because for NDA, there's a particular age that if you pass it, you can't apply. And he kept on applying and applying, and then because of other challenges, the thing wasn't working, and then he passed the age. So I totally get it. But the thing again is, those kind of things are supposed to be systemic, it has to be sorted from the top and all that. Now, if the people are delayed, are we going to put our lives on hold? No, we've got to be fluid. What are the other options? What can we do? How can we make ourselves more valuable, such that even though we are not the age that is being should I say, that is being touted, what else can we do? Many times a lot of people come out from school without zilch, like no experience whatsoever, no internship, no voluntary, and many times these people are asking you for work experience, which you do not have because you've been in school. But if you've been able to curate a 3 months here, a 6 months here, a part-time work here, you can still patch everything together and present something. So I'm just coming from the angle of agility, in the sense that, if it is out of your hands, it's out of your hands. What will you do? You've got to do something.
All right. Thank you so much. And I would like to introduce the birthday boy of last week on the show. We have Dr. Eben putting on his birthday suit in a birthday background, the birthday smile, and a birthday haircut without a birthday
Happy
gift.
New Year, Eben.
Thank
Very
you. Good
welcome to the
morning.
Welcome to
Morning,
the show.
everyone. Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Ro. I don't have PhD yet, though. Don't put me in trouble.
Are you calling us from Las Vegas, Nevada, or you're from Lagos, Bagada?
I'm calling you from Las Vegas, Magodo.
KK, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, KK.
Good morning, everyone. Be
Good
here.
morning,
Hi.
Nevada.
Fantastic, fantastic. So we're a complete army today, and we have a conversation that I believe is mouth-watering and juicy, as it were. We're talking today about change starts with great teachers. Change starts with great teachers. And I'm sure a lot of people would have noticed that we didn't say change starts with teachers. We said change starts with great teachers. So I'm going to start with a great teacher. So you're going to tell us what do you reckon with if we talk about great teachers? Who is a great teacher? Or is it just mere appellation? What do we mean by great teachers?
Okay, so a great teacher will be somebody who goes into the classroom and not only teaches, but touches the lives of the students. So the teacher is not just going into the class and saying, oh, this is my lesson notes, or this is my plan, this is my teaching plan, and I just go with it. It doesn't matter whether they get it or not. And she's not even, or they're not even paying attention to that child that is not talking, or that child that is being extra active, or that child that is suddenly maybe was very active and is now just keeping to themselves. A great teacher touches the life of their students all round, in all phases, in all areas, and they're able to, at the end of the day, present to the world not just book smart students from their classes, but students who behaviorally have been impacted, have been, parents are saying, oh, this my kid went into your class this way, or he was very he wasn't very cooperative, he was very argumentative and all of that. And the teacher has not has not taken away the character of the child. No, they haven't beaten them into submission or talked them out of their personality, but have only taken that personality that they have and those things that they exhibit and have molded it into giving that child something they can work with, something that you brought out a positive in whatever was termed negative in the child. And at the end of the cycle of that child being in their class, they can present to the parents, to the society, a well-rounded child who has the foundation, who has a foundation to be a good citizen of the society. So that for me is who a great teacher is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's very profound. You said a great teacher doesn't just teach, but the person must touch lives, that is. And I'm sure that Eben would like to, give us his views when we talk about great teachers, especially from your experience. Eben, over to you.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Aro. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, education. Good morning, teachers. A great teacher. When I saw the topic, I was like, wow, it's a great topic. So I actually used to start the year. I think this is my first time of starting the show, and I actually promised to end the show right here. Hope I'm not freeze like Ugoshi used to say. Okay, I'm still moving. Yeah. So a great teacher is someone that you will never forget at all for life. From my experience, there are still some teachers that if I actually sit down here, I will remember them. And there are some teachers that if you remember some bad situation, you will also remember them. An example of a great teacher is someone that does not just teach alone, but also influence you in terms of good character. There are some teachers in our school. I remember my primary school, there was a gentlewoman a long time ago, a gentlewoman. Unfortunately, she died, but I can never forget that there is something I observed about her. She was one of them is funny. She was the only one with car in the school, in the whole of my primary school, public school. And it was like, this is the only person with a car. And then she was the most gentle teacher. The rest that does not even have anything at all, they were the one that would beat hellfire out of us. And I was like, each time I just remember my primary school, she used to be the first person I will actually remember. And then she has not actually taught me before. She was actually teaching the next class. So I don't know why I keep on remember what's it called? Just remember her memory again and again. And going back to my secondary school, there are a lot of great teachers, and there's still someone immediate. When you remember some of them, the ones that they will purposely come to school early and they will hold that long cane, thinking that that cane is the rod of changing characters and changing values in children. And they don't know, although sometimes some of us when we graduate out of school, we tend to like appreciate them that yes, thank you, you actually beat me for correcting those things that are not good out of me. Then going to higher institution, I won't lie to you. I was somewhere on Saturday, and my artist friend who actually organizes exhibition for now, he organizes exhibition with a gold dealer, and what they do is to organize exhibition from one place to another. So one of our lecturer actually saw us, and he said, Washington, you don't like to invite me to your exhibition, this and that. When the man left, there was something Washington actually said. Washington said, how can I invite you to my exhibition? Do that when we were in school, you were not even supportive at all. Everything about you was to just make sure that you will fail my course, you will do this, you will do that. Now this set of students are now succeeding, and even it was like, what do you want to come and do in my show? When we were with you, everything was actually disconnected. You were not associating yourself with us. You were thinking because you are a PhD holder, this and that, and more. And then I will never forget a quote by one of my mentors. I am not scared of the people of my age, of my profile. I am only scared of the people below me. If that lecturer actually have understanding of that quote, he will not actually look down on those students. And it is actually a great teacher is actually beyond teaching in the classroom, and it's very wide. I think I've used my 3 experience, and I know with time I will still continue to talk more about great teachers I've actually explored.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for what you said. That a great teacher is hard to forget. I was almost going to think that you say that a great teacher has to be found in Las Vegas, Nevada. Ching, ching. All right. So KK, are you here? KK, the great teacher and the great administrator, are you here?
KK is here. KK is here. Good
Oh,
morning, everyone.
That voice is so
I would
powerful.
like
KK is here. KK is here.
Yeah.
okay. Mr. Rotimi. Okay, guys. So for me, right, greatness is a function of several different things. It starts first of all with you, the person who proposes to be great, right? And it starts with you understanding who you are, knowing who you are, and understanding how what you do connects with everybody else, and making that conscious decision to say, you know what, I understand the fact that this children in my care, in my class, out of my class, and generally, to be honest with you, around the world, have come to me for a reason, and I need to give my best. As Eben said, a great teacher honestly is unforgettable. So that's one function. The second function of greatness is the fact that people should recognize that you're great, right? And connect with that greatness. And that's the unforgettable part. So it's not enough for me to say I'm a great teacher. No. Somebody out there has to say I am a great teacher. Because if I say I am great and nobody else connects to that greatness or can connect to that greatness, then am I meant to be a great teacher for myself? That in itself is it's that it doesn't make any sense at all. It's because me being a teacher means that I am teaching somebody or something, either consciously or unconsciously. So it means that it is an action that is actually performed on other things, right? So that function, that's why I say it's a function of two things. One is me understanding the fact that I know my purpose. I understand who I am, and I know how I connect and affect everything around me. The second is that the people around should be able to make that connection. Now, when I was in primary school, UDSS in Benin, my principal, Mrs. Adegoke, oh my gosh. Honestly, like Eben said, she's unforgettable. And I'm talking 34 years ago in primary school. And I can't forget her. I can never forget Mrs. Adegoke. Miss Adegoke will beat you, but she will love you. She would show you who you are beyond who you are. Even before you know who you are, it's almost like she knows you. She knows everybody in the school, right? And like I said, I cannot ever forget Mrs. Adegoke. She would step into the classroom and engage us. She would see us on the playground and remember what she taught us in the classroom. That was greatness. She not only understood who she was, but we could see and identify with that greatness. And that for me is the definition of a great teacher. Back to you, Mr. Rotimi.
KK, you said she will show you who you are beyond who you are. You made me remember a very funny incident when I was in university. We were writing, I think it wasn't the final exams, but so there's this lecturer that was known for catching people cheating. So he was known for it. So if you want to get someone who is cheating, you just invite him to the lecture hall. And so he came into the hall and he said that, look, that I want to catch somebody. And people were giggling. You want to catch somebody? I said, I'm going to catch somebody. And next, he just picked somebody and he asked the person, who are you? The person said, I am somebody. He said, by the time I finish with you, you'll be nobody.
Oh my goodness.
I should be told the guy was actually sitting in for someone in that exam hall. So,
Oh my God. So that means he's really good at catching people.
I don't know whether he uses jazz, but that guy, he said for his history, that university is the one known to catch mercenaries. So it just comes into the hall. You just say, I want to catch somebody. In 3 seconds, you'll pick someone out. You know. So maybe that's a great lecturer from behind. Okay, so let's flip the coin. I want to ask Safety Chick. Safety Chick, you've actually mentioned something like this before. Talking about your Akwa Ibom adventure and experience. So I probably want to flip the question to you. So what makes, we all have heard different definitions of great teacher, but for you, have you come across great teachers in your life? And if yes, what do you think made them great, or why did you qualify them to be great? Just like Keke said, it's not enough for a teacher to call himself great. In fact, it's not in the place for the teacher to award themselves that title. I think it's the recipient, the people that interact and interface with them, that can confer that right on them. So if you've ever met great teachers, please tell us. And if you do have met great teachers, what do you think make them great?
Okay, so as you were speaking, two teachers came to mind. One for inspiration, one for guidance. And what makes a great teacher is a great teacher does not just teach, that's the education aspect. Educating us is fine, it's very important. A great teacher should also inspire us to be great, inspire us to be more. We show us a picture of the future, that there is something where we are going. And then, of course, a great teacher should also provide guidance. You know that children are in their formative stages when they're in school. So many times they don't have everything all figured out. So they would need that expertise of these older ones now, who are our teachers, to, mold, push us in the right direction, proffer advice and all that. So yes, I have met, and two people came to mind. My guardian, who she's now like my second mom, almost as if God knew that my mom was going to die before time and provided one ahead who I grew with. So she's acting in as a mother to me as of today. And interestingly, she never taught me personally. It's just so strange, but I always admire the way she carried herself in school, the way she taught those who were in the classes that she taught. And one day, out of the goodness of her own heart, another teacher was saying something to her about, oh, if she had space in her house, she would have taken me home for the holiday. And she was like, no problem, that I would go with her. And that's how I started spending my midterm breaks in her house. She doesn't know me from anywhere. She didn't have to do that, but she did it because of the situation I was in at that time. And since going to a house for midterm break once, do you know that after then, every visiting day, this woman would cook and bring for me as if she was coming from I just could not believe it. So she just took me under. Now that's one. And even after now, I've kind of integrated into her family. I'm like the elder sister to all her children and all that. Now that's on one level. Now, my guidance counselor, I would never forget him too. Because I had a situation in school where, you know how something happens with classmates, and then some people now gang up, and children quarrel, but they will not take it to another level. Hey, God. But when I took this situation to this man, and he listened to me, and he heard even the things I wasn't saying, and he gave me advice that I even use today. I almost like he knew the trajectory of my life, and he just prepared me. And I will never forget, because he drew on a piece of paper, he drew a wavy path with obstacles on the side, and then he put a goal at the end, and he said, Ugochi, you are here, you're walking on this path. The goal is what is at the end, but on your way, things arise at the side of the path. If you keep looking at the obstacles at the side, you will not get to your destination. Your goal is to look at where you are going to and not focus on the obstacles. Because if you keep looking at the obstacles, you would stay there and you would not move. I never forgot that. And every time I'm faced with anything, I just ask myself, what exactly is the focus? What exactly am I trying to achieve? And so the challenges pale in comparison to the big goal. So yes, of course, challenges would come, you grow thick skin and you do what you need to do, but the focus changes. So imagine that these things happened. I was in secondary school from 1999 to 2004. This is 2021. I'm still using it in my life. And I also use that when I'm advising other people. So that impact has transferred not just to me, but to other people who have also met. So a great teacher is not just a teacher that educates, a great teacher inspires, and a great teacher also provides guidance for the future.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. So I'm heading to Titi now. Titi, are you there? Good morning, Titi. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
All right. So I'm going to change the question for Titi. Uh, it seems like from the way we've been qualifying great teachers and also from a little bit of experience, great teachers seem to be in shortage in terms of supply. Could you help us, shed more light on that? Why do you think that great teachers are in a huge shortage of supply?
Oh, two reasons. I think the first one is, just listen to what everybody has said. I'm not sure anybody mentioned that when they were talking that, oh, my great teacher taught me maths, my great teacher taught me science. You found that a lot of it was about the ability to inspire. There's a popular saying that the real work of a teacher is ability to ignite. It's not to fill a vessel. It's actually to ignite a fire. And just listening to what everybody said, that's really what differentiates a great teacher. So it's not so much of how much you know your content. I think it's the fact that you know that what you're trying to do for each child is to ignite the fire, and that fire changes. For some children, it could be of being beaten. For some, from children, just the way you talk to them. So it's different for each child, and I think most people don't know that as teachers. That's the first one. I think the second thing is the fact that a lot of people that enter the teaching profession, enter it by as a last choice option. So when you're doing something whereby it's your last choice, for a lot of people, it's you just do it anyhow. After all, you don't really want to be here. So for me, I think those are the two things that can account for why we don't have such great teachers.
Fantastic. Very straight to the point. So now to the question which reflects on our topic today. Change starts with great teachers. What are these changes that we are talking about? How do these changes start? Since we've reckoned with the fact that teachers that are great have some level of impact, touch, and whatsoever, right? What are these changes? Fee, I'd like you to share some thoughts. Looking at the topic, change start with great teachers. Do you even agree with this? And if you do, please share with us what are these changes.
So I certainly agree that change starts with great teachers. And I one example readily comes to my mind. I had a student in my class who, at the age of 11, wasn't able to read, wasn't able to. She could barely even write her own name, and there was this large. She didn't have so much confidence. So when we had to have presentations, she would always run. She would always want to be in the background. She wouldn't want to be noticed, so that she's not giving anything to present, because the process of reading what she had to present was a huge one for her. And when I noticed that, I had to take special interest in her. And we went through a process of breaking down the lines, and she was able to read. And then while she was presenting, I would stand in a place where she could see me, and then give her prompts, and give her encouragement, and she was able to have that particular presentation. So I believe that for such a child, the change that something already shifted in her. That look, other people might see me as not being able to do it. One of the things that they also said that was that some teachers ventured into it as a last resort. Some are in it because, well, that's what is available to do for now. So they don't even take the extra step to see beyond what the children are presenting, to see beyond what they're seeing, to see further into what are the potentials in this child that I can bring out. How can I effect change in this child's life? So seeing a child who doesn't have confidence in themselves, and who possibly has just resigned into, well, I'm never going to amount to anything much, so let me just leave. They really don't care. They don't pay attention to in class. They don't do a homework. They hardly participate in anything. All that child needs is a little push in the direction of You can do it. That may be all the teacher says to them consistently. You can do this. I had another student like that who every teacher just left him because he just felt very rascally. He doesn't know how to. And then he perfected the art of blackmailing. So he will come to you and say, Miss, if you really are my friend, you will help me with this thing. And the day he first started, he used that line on me. I told him, yes, I'm your friend. And because I am your friend, I'm going to help you do it for yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. And by the time this kid went on and got into the secondary school, he was fantastic. He was doing things that other that teachers who had taught him earlier did not know he could do. So yes, the change that we look forward to, maybe not only in the child now, in our society, having more productive people contributing to our society, having more positive behavior, putting into helping these children see and modeling to them life skills that they can use as they get out of school, as they go on pursuing their future goals, having for them to say, oh, I'm resilient enough to do this thing. So somebody believed in me so much to do this thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if I did it the first time and I didn't get it, I can try it again. All of those things are the things that it may not sound so much to the teacher like, oh, what's the big deal? I only told him it was great. The child probably never had anybody tell him it was great. And then the teacher comes and says, you are awesome. You are amazing. I believe in you. And then from
Fantastic.
there, we see these children blossom. They become just like rose buds. They open up. We see them blossom. And we see the
Yeah.
change that we desire without carrying canes and long sticks and rulers that teachers are known for.
All right. Thank you so much. That was quite a deep dive into that question. And I'm coming straight to KK. KK, are you there?
I'm here.
Yes. I'm going to ask you like a two-in-one question. And just quickly help us. I know that you have a teacher makeover program coming up, or is it, yeah, coming up. Yeah. I want you to use that more or less as a case for change. We're talking about change starts with great teachers. Um,
Mhm.
so, how has it been from your personal experience? This change that we're talking about, and then can you just link it up with the teacher makeover?
Thanks. So I'm just gonna piggyback on what if sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I don't see your name in full. I believe it was okay, the names are not even showing. But the last speaker, I can't just remember her name right now. My apologies for that. So I'm gonna just piggyback on what she said. The reality is when you think teacher, the first thing that comes to your mind, I mean, and that's thinking of all of us on this panel, the one, two, threes, and the ABC. There's so much more than that, to be honest with you. And when we talk about change, change starts first on your inside. We all know, right, that, or let me not say we all know, we should know that once you change the outside, it's basically behavior modification. And we do not want to do behavior modification because it's just that you're modifying behavior. But the reality is that person remains who that person is. And sooner rather than later, or maybe even later, that behavior that we are hoping to change will not will come up again. And what does that behavior mean for us? It's behaviors that focus on only curriculum. It's behaviors that close out the needs of particular children. It's behaviors that assume that the teacher knows it all. It's behaviors that assume that the parents have no say in what happens in my classroom, in my school. And those are the things that we need to look at. It's behavior that says if you don't pass this exam, you don't know anything. If you don't, so those are the things that we need to change because that's the only way that we can begin to connect those dots to what actually should be happening in our classrooms in the real world and what is happening. There are definitely gaps, and those gaps are not necessarily based on the fact that we're not teaching a great curriculum. No, it's based on the fact that children leave school and there's no connection, right, with what is happening in the real world. And I'm not just talking primary, secondary school here. I'm even talking in the university because the teaching flows all the way up there. I remember when I left school, right? I didn't even know what I was meant to be doing. I was just clueless. The good thing was I served my NYSC was in a fantastic place. or let me say fantastic people, because it was Nigerian Ports Authority, but the people that I worked with were just honestly amazing. They took us under their wings, 5 of us, and taught us what it meant to be in the real world, and not just have our heads stuck in university clouds somewhere. And that for us is what we want to do with the teacher makeover. We call it a makeover because when you make up your face, right, or your clothes, when you do that makeover, it's on the outside. But then they don't just leave you like that. They give you, they tell you what dress size you should wear. They tell you how probably you should keep eating. They tell you how to do your makeup, how to clean your makeup. So they want to extend that makeover outside of that one experience to something that you do on a daily. And to do it on a daily requires you saying, you know what, I'm worthy of this change. This change is not a one-time thing. I will do what it takes to stay this way. And that for us is the thrust of the teacher makeover. We start from you as a person, you as a teacher, you as an individual. Who are you? What are you? What should you be mastering? You know, and how does the things that you do actually connect to how you then act in the classroom? So
Fantastic.
it starts with your mindset, and then it goes to your actions and check what it is that you've been doing. Then you haven't done anything, right? Because it's not replicable. So those are the 3 pillars of the teacher makeover. Like I said, mindset, styling, and then what you should be doing, which is action related to your content as a teacher. And then we go into measurement. So actually documenting and saying, you know what, this is who we are, and this is what we will continue to do consistently. And so that in a nutshell is what the teacher makeover is about. And honestly, I'm excited about it because even going through the program and developing the course, I had so many epiphanies, if I can use that word very loosely. So yeah, so that's what we're about, and that for me is a change that I do want to see in the education sector, one teacher at a time, but consistently changing minds, changing classrooms, and just connecting those dots between what is and what really should be. Back to you, Mr. Rotimi. Thank you.
We're excited with you on that makeover announcement for the makeover experience with the makeover reality and the makeover result. Just like Safety Chick's face is made over, and she will come over to Lagos after she runs with her. And I will make you over. Trust me, you are back. Ladies and gentlemen, you're still on the Good Morning Education Show, and we're talking about change starts with great teachers. And I'm sure if you've been listening since we started, you would have been getting so many nuggets from all the things. But I want us to ask Eben, being one who goes to Las Vegas, Nevada, physically, in the mind, spiritually, in the heart. Eben, you speak about a concept, and I want you to talk about it because I think great teachers also use tools in carrying out their function, either from inspiration or from activation by teaching students or by working with colleagues. And I want to zone in on some of the things that complement teachers and make them great, which is art integration, tools that make them great. And I'm sure, going from makeover concept of KK, you also have said some things about class makeover. So can we hear your thoughts just very quickly, even on that?
My quote last week on Facebook was that education should be beautiful. Education should be beautiful. And then when I saw that quote, when I developed that quote, I observed that there is you can't be a great teacher without adding beauty to your profession, without adding beauty to your teaching. The children you are teaching, they are fascinated by beauty. Your environment has to be beautiful, has to be inviting. So when we talk about tools, number one tools every teacher have to put in mind is the tools of aesthetics. And when we check aesthetics from the English word, which is beauty, from the Yoruba word, which I know as what we call iwalewa, character, aesthetics. That is what we call. I'm sorry for using another word because beauty is a very wide context. From philosophy, when we talk about beauty, is a very wide context. From the environment that you create to your character to the way you care for children and more. So when we talk about the aesthetics of creating a welcoming and instructive learning environment, every teachers have to put in their mind that the kind of environment they create for children can also affect the way they think about them, I've actually been to a school before where they took the child to year one Rose, and the child went to year one Rose, look around, and they went to year one Lily. So when they got to year one Lily, the child said, "Mommy, I don't like year one Lily. I like year one Rose." Why? There's a beauty the child is seeing. The moment the child is actually attracted to that beauty, there is no how the child will not actually like that facilitator. So beauty is one thing we have to put into consideration. Beauty can be applied into anything we do in the classroom. It can be applied into our literacy, our numeracy, our dressing, our environment, the way we speak, and everything we do in the classroom. So education should be beautiful. Teachers should be beautiful. And beauty should not just be number one thing we should consider. We should also consider beauty from our act. From our act. I think, can I stop there or I should continue?
Just tell us about
Dr.
your
Rose.
upcoming program in 1 minute. Tell us about your upcoming
Yes, I'm having a
program.
program in April, and the title is Understanding the Newness. There are a lot of newness out there that teachers have to understand in terms of beautifying the learning environment. I don't believe
Fantastic.
that the learning environment should just be all about beauty, but it should be instructive. It should be also welcoming. And there are other components we have also added to it this time, especially making sure that every classroom shows what is happening in the school. And I so much believe that the school also can serve as the classroom can serve as the marketing strategy. So how is your classroom marketing your school? How is that board you create marketing your school? And then when the children look at those boards, what are they learning from what they see? And then we know we are in the new normal right now. What are those ways to promote social distancing, to promote good manners, to promote no bully in the school, and every other thing that we need to
Fantastic.
understand. So through the use of understanding newness, we are going to be addressing that at Federal College of Education, Akoka, Lagos, Nigeria. And we also have the online version. So as some people are there live, we also have the other people will be joining us live online.
Thank you so much. And of course, we believe that the outcome of the newness event will be newness within the sector and newness in their actions. Thank you, Eben Odetola, Israel, Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, we're coming to Titi and Ugochi, and I'm going to be asking them the same question. And the same question would be that what should schools do to birth or accelerate the emergence of great teachers? What should schools do so that we can have that birthing of great teachers? Starting with I said Kiki, starting with Titi, then Ugochi. Titi, are you there?
Yes, I'm saying, hey, this is an exam question that Rotimi is asking. Why didn't you say start with Gochi? That's as you were just saying start with. I said Gochi. I'm asking myself, how would you birth that care and concern that goes beyond the books? I think the first thing is a bit of what Eben and Keke are doing, whereby sometimes some people are not aware of what their role is, so they need that someone to provide the light, and that's where all the training comes in. So it's important that schools are training their teachers to say what really is your job. There's a lot of buzz of moving from teacher led to student led training, but the cocoa of the matter continues to be that the teacher's role is really to ignite. So I think the first step is to help teachers realize that. And the bottom of it all, when I think about it, what makes you ignite something in a child is, first of all, that the child understands that you can see through all their walls and really care. That's what it is. It's when it was what Finn was saying about that naughty boy. Children act up for various reasons. So when someone takes the time to care and trying to find out what it's all about, You find out sometimes because maybe the child is going through a divorce at home, their parents are always not around, they don't care. So at the bottom of great teachers is really that care, making a conscious, intentional effort to care for each and every child in your class under your span of influence. I think that's really where great teachers are formed.
Thank you so much. And Ugochi, over
Good
to
to
you.
Oh, good. So, Mr. Rotimi, have you noticed that for the past few sessions, you've just come with questions, and just asking us Rishi questions on this show? Yeah, the one with our own jam, internally generated jam, giving us your own set of questions. So, anyway, so I was thinking about it, and all I could just think of was the place of training and the place of modeling. I feel like those two things would make a difference. So, like Mr. Dewisi mentioned, some people don't even know that they can do more. And again, maybe there were all various reasons why they came into the system. But if they can be shown that there is something else, you're not just teaching, you're impacting a generation. The little things, both said and unsaid, that you do is impacting the life of these young people. If that mindset shift is done for them, it could help. It may not change everybody, but it will change those whose hearts are in the right place. One of the things Ibe mentioned was the heart, because again, you can tell the hearts. You can just tell the heart of someone. I read a post on Instagram yesterday, and the husband, there's this couple that are sharing their story, the Mbelus, and the husband was giving the example of how the teacher said that in the history of their school, it had never been seen that students came to escort a math teacher to the class because they all had terrible experiences. But because his wife had taught them so well, she came with a new dimension. So the children were now willing to learn. They could feel that, that kindness of heart and willingness to teach and break it down. That endeared them to her, and of course to the subject by association. Yes, so that training is very good. And then of course modeling. So you, the school owner, school leadership, you have to model. Don't do as I say and not as I do. You to show care for the future of your own staff and let them know that what you're doing for them, you want them to pay it forward. So I think that would work.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And of course, we could go on and on and on and on and on. But, we have a time that we're working with, and the time frame is on our hand. Sorry?
I was asking if I can just wade in very quickly, just say something very quickly.
Okay.
As a
Yes.
student, I totally love what Titi and Ugochi said, the importance of modeling. But one thing that I found is causing people not to be great is that ability to be visible at work. And sometimes it's just that they haven't been given a chance to be visible. Owners, as head teachers, in whatever capacity, the people who are under you, give them a chance, right? Give them a chance to just show greatness. Give them a chance to make mistakes within the safety of the system, because that's the only way that you truly believe that, like Ugochi said, you are worthy of something, that is something on the inside of you that the world needs. I just wanted to add that very quickly. Thank you, Sarotimi.
You see, I have modeled giving you a chance on the show so that great teachers can be given a chance in their school. The show and school starts with the letter S. So, ladies and gentlemen, she has taken my chance to say my own thoughts because I gave her a chance to say her own thoughts. So, on that note, we'll end the show today, and we're coming back tomorrow. And we'll be having some guests tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Please stay tuned. 8 a.m. on the dot. We're coming your way with a bigger experience tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Tell someone to tell someone to show someone to show someone. Subscribe to our channel, like our page, like our videos, share to other people, subscribe to our analysts and experts. And we will be back because there's something we like to say as we roll out on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we always give the ladies the opportunity to share that word. But before they say it, I think it's right to just allow the birthday boy to tell us our payoff sign off, which is always what we say. So, Iben, tell us what we say when we end the show so that the ladies can echo it after you. Iben, unmute yourself, please. Your mic, Iben, your mic.
Now,
Yes.
I am unmuted. You said something. You asked a question. I was trying to.
I said we normally end the show with something. We end the show with saying some
Yeah.
words. Tell us.
Okay, that is I forgot the word. It's a good time.
Amen. Amen. You've
Yeah,
had a good time. You forgot to end the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, can we give Ben a chance by telling him how we end the show and take it out? Ladies, over to you.
they are not educating me now.
It's a great morning on the
Good
Good
morning.
Morning
Good
Education.
On
morning,
the
education.
Yes, now I
You said
remember.
it's always a good time. You're saying yes now. Is that what you said?
Las Vegas, Nevada statement. It's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education
Yeah.
Show. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice time. Bye.
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 Bye.